The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of rmconair.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Everybody, this is Chantel Nanette, One Mic, One Voice. I'm your host.
What's up? This is Kevin John in the building, another host.
Hey, it's Breezy. Hey.
That sounded raspy.
Brooke Jean, BrookeJean.com.
Yeah, we got Macy Gray on them right there.
I'm trying to say
My joke.
almost already. I can't even.
You said what?
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm wearing brand new contacts today.
Oh, you can see. Welcome to the club.
Let me see.
Contact lenses. They're clear.
Okay.
I didn't even know you had seeing problems. How you
Really? You've never seen me in my glasses?
I thought those were just fashion. You know, people just wear the see-through glasses for fashion out here.
My prescription. I
don't
have
think-
really bad
I
eyes.
don't think you've ever worn glasses on the show, though.
Oh, because I be trying to. Okay, well, never mind. Then.
Yeah, so you done told on yourself now.
She's like, anyway.
See, Chantel will know.
I need to get a new pair, though.
I've worn my glasses with you guys before. Not
I
here,
don't know
because
on
I
the
don't know if we got that anti-glare
Okay.
technology on this camera.
I need to get a new pair and update because everything's blurry to me right now.
Well, you know they say you're supposed to wear your contacts like you're supposed to change them like every
month or something?
I don't know. I wear them for like 2 or 3 years.
Join the club.
I wear them till they hurt, and then I
Yeah,
be like,
when they start irritating.
and I change them one at a time.
That's how you know it's time to take them out.
Right.
They're dry.
Right.
I see. Well, fortunately, I've been blessed with 20/20 my whole life, so I've never had glasses, contacts.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I will be 26 in June.
No, you lying? There's no way. 1981, 1980.
1986.
You mean 70. You mean 70 something.
No, he's 76.
I am 30 years old. I am the dirty
I'll
30.
give you 10 more years.
What is that? 83? I don't know what
10
that
more
is.
years.
10 more years.
Yeah,
10 more
10
years?
more years. You'll need them.
I like how you guys are giving me like a deadline, 10 years before my eyes just start. So how long do I have until I die?
No, you're gonna be one of those people like you know how like your parents. They'll be like, you put something in their face, and they'll be like, wait, hold on, you gotta pull it back.
Right.
And then they'll be like,
Can I see this? Wait, hold up.
when
Bring
you
it
turn
closer.
like 36, 37.
Well, Brooke
Maybe.
wears on too sometimes. I think you have yours on too, right?
Yeah, I said I have contacts. Oh, my vision is, it was nearsighted, then it just
I don't know what
started
those things
getting
mean.
further.
I just can't see far.
So you would be
Farsighted.
farsighted.
That's my issue.
Farsighted, you can see close.
Farsighted.
Do
Nearsighted,
you
I can see
cheat?
that way.
I cheat on my eye exams. Do you cheat on your eye
How
exams?
do you cheat on your eyes? Now?
When I
have
walk
no
in,
You
I look
look
at
at
the
it,
board and
study
memorize
it.
the shortest line.
You go through
and then the doctor will be like, read what you can see. And I'll be like, A-L-L-L-L.
So fast, they're like,
Or like he'll be like, cover your eye. And I'll be like this. I'll just read it with both. And then I'll be like,
You cheating
see.
yourself, girl.
right?
But I don't want, every time I go to the eye doctor, my prescription gets
prescription.
worse. So I
That's
refuse.
how it was. The last time I went, they said I had astigmatism
Yeah, I
in one
have
of my
one too.
eyes. So now I have different prescriptions. They used to be the same. So
No, I just picked a -5. I'm like, I'm cool at -5.
That's why I refused to wear them for a long time because I've heard stories.
Contacts?
Just glasses, period.
Yeah.
I was in denial. I mean, until I had to literally walk up on the street sign to
Yeah.
see what it was.
Yeah.
But I refused to go because I heard stories that when you wear them, you eventually need to get
Well,
a
your
stronger
your
strength.
eyes.
Get
What it is
dependent
your
upon them.
eyes get dependent on the glasses. And when I was little, I used to try to read in the dark. I was like a bookworm, and like my mom would make me go to bed, and I would try to read in my bed. And that's when the doctor was like, I only needed them to see the blackboard. Or to drive. And my mom was like, just wear them every day. And it'll fix your eyes so fast. And she was so wrong. And that's when I stopped listening to my mom. So,
right. Lesson learned.
hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin's like, okay.
Yeah, you see, this. I mean, I've always had perfect eyesight, so I can't. The only thing I can somewhat relate to is I used to get in trouble a lot when I was in school. Believe it or not, I used to get in trouble a lot. So I remember one time I got sent to the principal's office, and my mom had to come there. My mom was like, "Kevin, why do you keep getting in trouble?" And I explained to her it was because I had trouble seeing the chalkboard, so therefore I would just distract the students around me. So she really thought that it was my eye problem. So she's like, okay, we're going to take you to an optometrist coming up next week and we're going to get it checked. So I'm like, oh crap, because, clearly my vision was perfect. So I went to the optometrist and kind of like you cheated. I kind of did the opposite. I was pretending like I couldn't see anything just to stay true to the lie. And
you lied about not being able to see the blackboard.
I lied about because basically that was my only justification for why I kept getting in trouble. So I told
You could.
So he was a liar at an early age.
Yeah, he was. He'd been fibbing
exactly. Hey,
from elementary school.
elementary, and then I stopped that and turned into a man of integrity.
A man of God.
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 Who said don't sweat my swag?
God.
I like that
About
shirt
God,
right there.
how you guys like this new series, the Bible?
What is this?
On the
The one with
history-
with
on the
Barack
history
Obama
channel.
devil?
Yeah, it's funny how that
Yeah.
gets the most publicity out of all the Bible. The Bible series. Before we get to that, I just want to say the series is dope.
Ain't it? High five, come on now.
Because
I didn't-
I
I
had
haven't
read
watched. I haven't
Genesis
seen it.
like maybe a couple of weeks before, and I mean it is a dope depiction. You talk about bringing the Bible to life.
It's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, you really think you're watching everything.
Who's playing Jesus? Tom Cruise.
No, actually,
Brad Pitt, somebody white.
they got Flavor Flav. They figured that with his
One of your kin.
Yes.
One of your kin.
Right?
yeah, exactly.
Back in the
Yeah.
days.
No, some Jesus yet, at least to what I've watched it up to. I haven't seen the last couple, but at least to the ones I've watched up to, Jesus hasn't came to earth. God hasn't sent him yet, so I couldn't tell you.
So
nice
it's a
series.
series on what channel?
History Channel.
History,
And
yeah.
it comes on what day?
Sundays.
Oh, good.
Actually, they've shown 3. It's a mini series, so they have 2 more left. So I think the last one is actually probably going to be the resurrection on Easter Sunday.
Oh, that's convenient.
I'm
Yeah.
saying. Plan.
I don't have cable and stuff.
It's something though about how they were all talking about Obama and comparing him, and actually it kind of looks like an age Obama. But isn't it something how today he's out in Israel
Obama?
and he's trying to make peace between the Israelites and the Palestinians?
Yeah, he is in Israel. He just
Yeah.
touched down yesterday, I think it
Yeah.
was.
So
Yeah, but Americans love those
Drama.
Israelite folks. Israelites?
Israelites.
Is the Israelites.
Israelites. And I mean, technically, we're all, we all come from actually Hebrew Israelites. Is technically, if you trace it back, even pre-biblical era, that's kind of, in a way, our ancestry.
yeah.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, you may be, I don't know, Tunisian or something, but as far as actual our ancestry, if you go back prior to the Bible, we would all technically be classified as Israelites.
What are you reading?
I thought we were
Haitian?
all African.
You're Haitian, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, you're Haitian?
She's Haitian. Yeah.
But you still, okay, but you weren't still, okay, Haiti, your descendants are from Haiti, correct? Or from Africa?
My mom and dad came here from Haiti.
So where were their folks from?
Haiti.
She's Haitian.
But before that, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before-
the slave trade went through.
Because I
here.
don't think they were the indigenous people there. I mean, obviously they had to come there somehow from some
Well,
way.
maybe they were the indigenous. I got good hair, so maybe. Okay. I got Indian in my family. Anyway,
Everyone crossed
Them
through.
Bantu nuts we saw last week.
The Bantu nuts.
Bantu. Anyway, that hair was soft. It's still good hair.
Speaking of hair, Brooke's hair is off the chain today.
Let me hear.
She is just-
Firebird red.
It is fire red. It is just
It's not
sassy.
fire red. It's a good red, like a honey.
Honey.
Yeah, that it's. So
not
Brooke,
like
what was the
Rihanna,
inspiration behind dyeing it?
I usually keep my hair up, but I've been working out like 6 to 7 days a week. So
You work
this
out
is
7 days a week?
sometimes.
Shoot.
But it's the cellophane. You know how cellophane is. It drips out of your hair. So, working out 6 days a week, it's no point in me coloring it. And I'm going out of town, so.
Where you going?
Temecula. I'm going to my first winery, hotel spa.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Where is
it's
that?
out of
Is
town.
that in Mexico?
2 hour
another
drive.
city.
Temecula. What is
Out
it
of
called?
this town,
Is it
LA
Temecula? What is it?
Temecula.
Temecula?
She's not going to Mecula. She's going to
Temecula.
To Mecca. Going overseas to Mecca.
Brooke. Apparently, someone thinks you're beautiful in that
that
dress.
pillow dude again?
Now, that's Bobby Rex this time.
Hey, Bobby Rex. I'm also
Hey, Bobby
here.
Rex. Calling.
The beater.
Yeah, you guys, you know what? How do I get on the chat? Just get on the.
Listen, I'm going to
Appreciate
jump on
the
the chat
compliment.
myself.
You guys, come on and join us in the chat room.
You know,
about to
I
start-
can't even read that.
I can't see it at all.
I can't either.
Okay.
Kevin,
I don't feel
you have
bad.
the good eyes. What does it say?
It says, Kevin John has it going on.
Hey.
That is from Beautiful Light Skin Beauty 82. And that's right below Bobby Rex.
I feel like it says Mr. Beautiful Light Skin Beauty 92.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
nice.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
nice.
Yeah. And then above that, I don't know. I think that's something. Well, Pillow Man actually, but that's from 6 o'clock, so that couldn't have been.
Now maybe that was last week or something. Yeah. So what you guys do this weekend?
This weekend, I worked on a short film, actually directed.
Oh,
a short,
dope.
Nice.
I'm getting my directing chops on.
Now, Steven Spielberg.
Well, Spike Lee, thank you.
Spike Lee.
Yeah, but what has Spike
That's
Lee
why
been
I'm wearing
doing
the New
except...
York hat.
I think it's
Except
Spike Lee's
complaining.
birthday today or
What?
yesterday.
What? Really?
Well, Spike Lee's actually in the process of doing an Inside Man Part 2 that he has on the table.
What was that? Was that the Most Def?
Inside Man was with
No, that
Clive
was-
Owen, Denzel Washington, Jodie Foster. They were in a bank. They robbed a bank.
How do you
and
do an Inside Man Part 2?
There's another robbery.
There's somebody else still at the bank?
There's
Just
a-
like they
there's
had
a-
Ocean's 11,
Yeah,
12,
Ocean's
13.
11,
Those
12,
movies were really good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
22.
those.
Thrillers. Speaking of good, and something else I did this weekend, good movie. I saw The Call this weekend.
We saw the car too.
Whoa.
I like
Did you
it.
see it? Oh,
Yes.
the bomb.
It
Obviously,
was
we need to go
dope.
do that.
It
Nobody
was
It was a
dope.
really good movie. I like
Really?
Man.
You know what it
Really
is?
good.
I saw the
It had
preview.
you-
the preview.
I saw the preview, and it just seemed like they showed the entire movie in the trailer.
No,
Like the whole thing.
they didn't.
She talks to some guy, he rapes some girl, he kills her, he puts her in some truck van, and then Halle Berry leaves work to be at the house. I was like, how? What? No. Is that overtime or?
Well, the thing is, I honestly like the movie. And even though the ending was good with the, by the way, this is a spoiler alert if you're listening.
Don't
tell.
say it. Don't say it
haven't
because maybe
seen
I'm gonna
it.
go bootleg it. later.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it, but I just think the ending was not believable. I was liking it all the way up into the end, where
agree with that.
it just wasn't believable. Because I think that's what made the movie
I
so
agree
good
with what you said.
is
But
everything that was happening, the unraveling of events. You could actually see something like that. You know, there was a connection to real society, but at the end of the movie or the last 15, 20 minutes, I was like, okay, this just went all Hollywood. I was really enjoying it, and it didn't just went down. But up until that point, the movie was phenomenal.
It was good.
Really?
It was phenomenal.
Really good movie. You know, Tyler Perry's movie coming out. I can't wait to see
Oh
see
gosh.
Now I don't care for
Nope,
Tyler Perry
not
movies,
even a little bit.
But this movie, it looks interesting, and I don't like Tyler Perry movies.
What's it called? Obsession? What?
Temptation. You know what?
Temptation.
I'm not a big fan of Tyler Perry movies, and I'm not a hater on this particular woman, but I'm not
Actress.
actress. Yeah,
Who is it?
Kim Kardashian. I'm like,
She has a small role. in
Yeah,
there,
but
though.
why?
why? Thank you,
Why?
thank you.
Because of her publicity.
Anyway,
and all that.
we don't.
And
I'm like-
I feel like the role of the movie fits her character.
Yeah, that just sold the movie out to me. Like, once you gonna put Kim Kardashian as one of your like, am I supposed to
This
take
is
it serious
But
now?
This is,
you know,
but not even that. Her role
you might as
apparently
well throw
is.
Justin Bieber in there and Honey Boo Boo, and then put together a cast.
Apparently, her role is quite small, but she still gets like top billing, like
Promo and
Right.
all that.
Her name is
Yeah.
like on the posters or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's because of her celebrity. That's
Exactly.
why. But
Well,
she
that's why
barely
Tyler
has any
Perry.
part.
If Tyler Perry was just like,
That was
I need
a
some.
marketing.
I need some little like teenage girls to come watch this movie.
Okay,
That was
And
a
that's
good
who-
but
marketing.
Reezy, and I don't deny the fact that it was marketing. Obviously, we know that she has 50 billion Twitter followers. So he's thinking if that translate over to the movie, I'm gonna get it. And plus, his last few movies a tank. But then again, Tyler, his foundation when he first came out, in addition to his Christian themed movies, was putting black actors to work, and that's what he was always about. You know, that was his foundation. You know, I want to feed my own. This is my own. And then you go out and get a woman who's pretty
who's
much
sleeping with black dudes.
who's
So
sleeping with black
technically,
dudes all over the
He's still
place.
feeding black folks.
Okay, but
She's the only.
I don't know. I just don't feel good
It
about
was a
it.
marketing move. It was definitely
Absolutely.
a marketing room. She was hot at the time, and I think she's the only person that's been another race that's been in this movie. Come on, stop being.
No,
so
he had
hard on the
Sofia
girl.
Vergara and Meet
She's-
the Medea Goes to Jail and some other ones.
Listen, I'd rather see a Medea movie than a Kim Kardashian.
Thank
movie.
you.
And I don't like Medea
Thank
at all.
you.
So
I'll put it like this. When you guys, anyone on this panel, did the fact that Kim Kardashian is in there make you guys more want to jump up and go see the movie?
No, that made me not want to go see it.
Exactly.
First, but then when I saw the trailer,
Anyway.
then it convinced me to go see it, and I saw how small her role was, and I read about it. Like her role was
Brooke,
very.
we can't
Kim
even be friends
Kardashian,
anymore.
come on. Yeah.
So, Ms. Brooke
Wait till I
Jean,
come with the review.
what
Yes.
is our poetry theme for today? The show theme for today.
Our show theme, poetry theme, is clean slate. To go around what we're going to speak on today. Clean slate. We yearn to learn of our past with hopes of predicting our future. Though history repeats itself, nothing is ever really the same. Variable change can alter your circumstance, so who are we without the educational system? A necessary foundation to lay layers upon layers, building and breeding the individual you will become. Needless to say, the grammar school age builds society awareness, exposure to diversity within multiple cultures, and a small sense of independence. How else would one grow without the recipe of humanity adding to its ingredients? Budget cuts from teachers and programs not only slice pieces of young scholars' learning experience, but pierces the soul of their inner growth. Running into obstacles unaware of the solution to self-rescue, that's just a small implication of how you start internal decay. Don't let it run you away. Our youth are more worthy than what they are given. Our schools are more dirty than what should be permitted. We need a renewed, renovated educational system, something much like a clean slate.
All right.
Clean slate. Woo.
Clean slate. Clean slate.
And we're going to go ahead and toss the break on that, and we're going to come back actually to talk about education in our locally
Yes.
and abroad. One mic, one voice every Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Hey, are you tired of those same old energy drinks with bad taste? Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products. For more information on Pitbull energy drinks, bars, and mixes, visit their website at hiphopbev.com. That's hiphopbev.com. Online orders available at hiphopbev.com.
Digging that cut. Y'all hear that cut?
Yeah. Jamming.
It's not on anymore.
I know. Hey, you guys.
We can't hear it.
We're back. This is Chantel. I'm your host. Chantel from One Mic, One Voice.
Yo, this is Kevin John, One Mic, One Voice. Pillow Man, big ups to you for your comment.
This is Reezy. I can't read the comments, but Pillowman commented last week. So, hey.
And this is Brooke Jean, your poet.
Look at Brooke Jean. Got all those followers
Brooke, you looking really good on this in this light.
Brooke, we gonna have to get you a bodyguard coming out of here in a second.
Kevin John, you gonna be my bodyguard?
Yeah.
Yeah. If a 6'1", 100-pound guy can be a bodyguard, absolutely.
How much do you weigh?
So, anyways, let's talk about our subject. Hey, I'm holding it down for the skinny brothers, okay? You know,
That's all right. You know
this
what?
is skinny is the new thick.
Enjoy that because as you get older,
Thick,
it's
fat
gonna
is the
get
new thick.
Well, you guys, you know what? Our subject topic of today is about education locally and abroad. And actually, we have a teacher who's sitting next to us that I just realized is a teacher. But I would like to touch on a show on OWN, Oprah's network, that I've been following. It's called Blackboard Wars. And it's a school in Louisiana, in a poverty-stricken area. And obviously the kids have had, that school has had problems for many, many, many years. And what they've done, they've turned it into a charter school now. And they've brought people from California who has been successful with charter schools out here to go out there and try to turn the school around. And I'm sure you guys have looked at some of the videos on there, and it's tough. It's really, really, really a tough job that they have out there. I actually think one of the kids just got shot. So you have a kid on there who's pregnant, walking around the school about to drop. She's 1 or 2 centimeters.
What? She's dilated in the halls?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
And her boyfriend's at the school, of course, and they're just totally disrespecting the teacher. And then there's this, they're talking about how, they're what do you call that? How you're soliciting the kids, or how you using the kids for. In other words, they're not really
exploiting them.
Exploiting the kids,
Okay.
and they're not really having a solution to the problem that's there. So, what is your take on that, Mr.
Clark?
Mr. Clark.
Yeah, I was about to say, Clark, that was Lean on Me, right?
Yes.
Joe Clark. Joe Clark.
Crazy Joe Clark.
I look at it from a lot of ways. I like the idea of taking this inner city school where I guess where clearly troubled youth attend, or at-risk youth, however you want to say it, turning it charter and I guess documenting what goes on. But my problem is when you have these kind of issues or situations that arouse, what are the solutions? And maybe I didn't look at, maybe I missed it because I haven't watched the full episode in its own, but it just seems like they just keep showing all these problems that the children are going through, but there's no solution. There's no trying to resolve it. There's no trying to correct it. There's no healing. And I think that, how do you expect these kids to change their attitudes, change their behavior, or, I guess the foundation of the violence if there's no.
Well, I feel like it's kind of a cycle. These kids are, they're troubled kids with bad, home lives, right? Mm-hmm. And their parents were also the same thing. It's a cycle. So it's like one of those what came first, the chicken or the egg type situations, where you're like, well, is it the teachers who aren't? Who have given up on teaching these kids and reaching out to these kids, or is it the parents who just don't have time, or they don't care, or they've got other priorities and they just don't have time to sit and work on their kids' attitudes and schoolwork?
Well, the problem is and I know this from teaching at inner city schools, the problem is, and you kind of touched on it, is there's an absence of parenting.
Right.
And there's no accountability at home. As a teacher, you can only do so much.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You can only prepare them so much. But when they go home, they need the parenting to step in there.
Right.
You can't be, you can't enlighten them and, try to lead them and educate them if when they're going home, they're losing that. There's not a parent checking on them to make sure they're doing their homework. A parent making sure they're not watching, Basketball Wives when they're supposed to be doing this. And I think a lot of times there's just an absence of that. So you have teachers that are overwhelmed because not only are they being the teacher, they're also being the parent. Sometimes they're their cook, they're the hairdresser. I mean, I've seen teachers that pretty much do all roles for kids because there's an absence of that at home, and you can only do so much as one person.
And that's where I think where the issue is the parents send their kid to school to be parented, and that's not good. But it goes back to the poverty though. In the neighborhood, most of our families are single parent homes, so and most of them are fatherless in the home. So you have a mother at home who's hustling, getting her hustle on, if she is working 2 jobs, so she's not at home. So she's not there to instill that, discipline or, well, I did, There's no excuse. But go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, honey.
No, I was going to say, but see, I still don't kind of buy that as excuse because there still are after-school programs. There's free tutorial that is offered in a lot of these schools after, and a lot of these kids don't come. They go wherever, they can do whatever. And I understand as a mother, if your father is gone. I grew up in a single-parent household. My father was still active in my life, don't get me wrong. But, the thing is, you can still arrange for your child to have tutorial, arrange for your child to go to after school. There's an infinite amount of solutions. But the problem is if you're just absent and not being a parent, or if you're the parent that may not be out, working 6 jobs, but just sitting at home on welfare checks, that's doing nothing at all. That's doing no justice for your children. So it's a combination of, lack of father in the household. I mean, that's a lot of the problem right there.
Right.
And the fact that there's just no parent there. The thing is and I would hate to say this, but the thing is that I notice from African Americans and Caucasians and Asians is that in our households, we don't value education as much. In Asian households, education is the first thing.
Right.
Yeah. They spend hours. I mean, even if you look at schools in China, a lot of those kids go to school 6 days a week. So in that culture, it is indoctrinated and embedded into them that this is how it's going to be. In our culture, it's not like that. It's there's no value of it. It's like, oh, entertainment, oh, sports, let's be an athlete,
I wanna be a
NBA player or a rapper.
Yeah.
Whereas in whites and Asians culture, they aspire to be the doctors, the lawyers, the educators and things of that sort.
Well, I think it depends too because again, like my parents are from Haiti, and growing up, school and church were like the top 2. It was like Jesus and mathematics. That's what it was. And like if I got a test and I got like a 96 out of 100, my mom would be like, what happened to those other 4 points? And I'd be like, obviously, I didn't get them. But, like, education was huge in my house. Like, so big. And so big in that, if I could, it wasn't even a matter of, like, well, I don't know if I'm going to go to college. Like, it was like, you can go to college. Just pick where you're going to go. Like, I think it depends, too, on just culture in general.
Culture, yeah.
Well, the social economics of it as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, just because there are exceptions. There are, like you said, households where it is.
But like Haiti's not like a super big force when it comes to like education and things like that. Just like for my parents, they knew that in order to make it and have a career and be able to feed your family in the future and stuff like that, you needed to have some type of degree and education behind all of that.
To me, it just goes back to say it boils down to your family. I don't care if you're in poverty, if you're in the bottoms, or it's based on the parent, because you have people that grow up in the hood,
and come out of that.
Yeah,
come out of that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
They come out of that.
Absolutely.
And even to speak on that, one of my coworkers that was of Asian descent, he told me how they lived in a 3-bedroom house. I think it was about 8 to 11 family members. And he said what their focus was, whoever was going to school at the time, everybody who worked together, they put their salary towards one person, got them through school. The next child, everybody's salary went to that next child, got them through school. And that just goes back to the household, where regardless if you have the money, regardless, it comes from the background of the families, if it's instilled.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you call unity, and that's something that I'm sorry our culture don't have.
Oh, there's a huge lack.
Yeah, but
of
our
unity in
culture has rims and Jordans. Hey,
that's the one thing they unify on.
Jordans, you got those cool grays.
Shoot.
Listen, but it goes back to what our culture values. Like, you got to think about it like this. Like, when I was little, it was like I would get one pair of sneakers for the school year. That was it. And then it was like dress shoes and like I don't know, picture day shoes. But like I went to school with kids who like used to stay like sharp, like super fly. Like every time a new pair of something came out, they had it on FUBU or whatever, Carl Kanai, like 90s kids. But
but they were the ones failing. Like they couldn't spell mayonnaise on like the spelling test, or they couldn't spell.
That's exactly.
I'm not
how
gonna say
it was.
Wednesday because I don't know how to spell that. But like,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, guaranteed. That's the word that now I can't spell at all, and I keep having to type that in emails.
GUARANTEE.
He's gonna make
Go
sure,
ahead.
you know.
But right, but these kids used to stay like their parents were working hard and getting their kids dressed super nice for school.
Super.
They used to have all the East Bay magazine,
Right, the shoes ready.
but
Ready
like
to
they
go.
couldn't spell words, or they couldn't do basic bio problems, or they couldn't carry a one. Like, it just goes back because these parents are working hard and they might be a single parent home or whatever, but they can still get their kids school clothes.
Yes.
But they can't get their kids I don't know,
tutors and-
a tutor, or like Jordans are expensive.
$100 pair of
Yes.
tennis shoes. And those very same kids are the ones that are coming to school talking about the other kids.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly
Oh,
how
look
it was.
at you. You got
Listen,
on
they were
brand.
they used to make fun of my Avorexes, you know?
Like she said, I was the same way at my middle school. They were like that.
I honestly think, in addition to family, this is really what it comes down to as well, as a society, is what we glamorize. And particularly in entertainment and rap songs on TV, if you look at black celebrities, they all glamorize money, fame, things of that sort, from athletes to entertainers. And that's what a lot of these kids look up to. And, they don't have parents there telling them, okay, look, what Lil Wayne is doing isn't, how a young black man should conduct himself around women and things of that sort. So I think in addition to a lack of family, these kids are raised by what they see on the TV. They're raised by these young Jeezys and raised by these Allen Iversons
These
and
Jay-Z's.
who's actually a successful story out of the ghetto. But yeah, just,
Right, but Jay-Z's how old now? 40, 30, I don't know how old Jay-Z is. Anyway, he's been rich longer than he's been poor.
What happened to Schoolhouse Rock? Remember that?
Conjunction Junction?
bring Teen
What's
Summit
your
back.
Function? Conjunction.
We're gonna
Kevin,
go to the
is that a caller? Oh, we got a caller on the line, you guys.
pop name.
Caller, you on the line? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up? My name's Javi. I'm calling from the Bay Area. How y'all doing?
Yay area!
Back and lacking. Yeah, I've been listening to you guys' show, man. It's pretty powerful. I definitely like what y'all got to say. I just want to make a point. You know, it's really deep. Like, what I see a lot out here, like we have a lot of kind of pristine, quote unquote, institutions. What I see, like when I'm out on the weekend, if I'm doing stuff, I see a lot of parents taking their kids through college campuses on the weekends, right? And it would bug me out, like, why are they, school not in? But I understand what the parents were doing. They were prepping their kids for what they were intending for them to do as they got older. They're saying, this place we're walking on, you're going to be a student here. And most of the kids I saw were not black. You know what I mean? It was mostly white and Asian kids, you know what I'm saying? And then, as they get older, them same kids that were there walking with their parents when they're 6 years old now are alumni of those same schools because their parents took the time and said, instead of going to, whatever on Saturday, I'm going to take it and go take my kid and get him then programmed to the notion that higher education is not, a thing you're going to think about, something that you don't participate in.
Right.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. But no, yeah, I 100% agree. They're embedding. Is he still on? Oh. Well, please call back, Yay Area. Javier, I believe it is. Please call back. You made a very good point. As you can see, they're embedding this in their kids at a very young age, and I think that's kind of where it starts. Instead of taking your child to the gym or, to the rap concert, take them to the college.
Well, there are other things you could do with your kids. Like you can take them to the library and have them read a bunch of books, or you can enroll them in like art classes or something to kind of invoke that creativity within them. Because if you look, it's like white folks. Can I say that here? White folks they'll be like, oh, Johnny wants to be an artist or an architect or what? Like they kind of let their kids dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes in our communities, people are like, shut up, like get that drawing out of here. Like it's almost as if sometimes it's it's kind of frowned upon to be like kind of artsy in our community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Is that Javier?
All right.
Hey,
Javier's
Javier.
back
He's
on.
back. Hello, Javier.
Hey, y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just want to make two more points. Like it's deep. 'Cause I teach in the schools too. I do a lot of work with after school kids. And I always drill this to them, man. Like the cat who is because we always talk about oh, you are square because you do your homework and you're focused in class and stuff. And I said a square versus the cool dude. And I told him, I said the cool dude hangs out on a block that's the same size of a square and only goes within its four corners. You know what I mean? The quote-unquote square is the person who's not limited to his neighborhood or with his particular environment. They're going everywhere. So I tell them, actually, who's the real square? The person who's actually going beyond the boundaries that their quote-unquote city limits is telling them, or the person who's on the block who doesn't. I tell them that the same cool kid who was the cool dude in high school is still out there 30 years later, except he has no teeth. It's the same by the same liquor store posted up because they valued cool over being correct. You get what I'm saying?
So
and,
Javi, I want to ask you a question. So why do you think that it is, I guess, frowned upon in our culture if you are a child, if you're a student, trying to be a good student, doing your work, not necessarily hanging out, being cool, participating in sports, but why is it frowned upon or why is it discouraged if you are in school and you're doing that? Why do you feel, what do you feel the background for that is?
I think two things. I think one is a legacy of institutional racism. These teachers have been killing our kids by letting them get away with not doing homework. Instead of, you don't have to do that test. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? Since you're on the hoop team, don't worry about it. Basically giving us a very limited standards versus everyone else. And I think historically, like, we used to get killed for looking intelligent. You get what I'm saying? Like, they would kill us, our ancestors, for having a demeanor of intelligence. So it almost feels like that kind of, feeling has been passed down to our kids. Like, okay, it's more cool to sing and dance and do all the extra stuff than actually being smart, because it is true. When you're African American and you're actually of intelligence and you speak boldly with integrity, like, you make a lot of people scared.
Yeah.
The question is, would you want to choose? Because they're going to be scared of you at some point, but to choose to be scared of you because you're bold and proud and know where you come from, your history, and you're connected. I think a lot of parents are scared based on what happened to King and Malcolm and a lot of other people to really raise their kids up to be warriors and to be examples for our community.
Well, you said historically. I think it goes back to slavery. Remember, during slavery period, we weren't allowed to have books. We weren't allowed to learn how to read. Those were orders strongly forbidden for us to do. So, and obviously they wanted to dumb us down, which I think is kind of coming back around now, the way our society is. But, I think, when you look historically at it, you're right. We weren't supposed to, we weren't supposed to, they didn't want us to be intellectual, to be informed. They were trying to revoke us of those privileges. So
but then, what about today? Today, I mean, that was back then.
Yeah,
today's a new day.
Exactly, and today there's absolutely no excuse.
Exactly,
and that's what I know a lot of times people do. And I understand what you're saying, Javier. You're just bringing it back historically to to show us the foundation, but I do think that today sometimes you do have certain African Americans that will say, oh, well, that's just the white man trying to hold us down. Or it's the white man. It's like, well, not really. Are you holding yourself down, or is the white man holding you?
Or, sometimes they hold each other down. Like, if you see a black dude who speaks proper, the first thing you say is, like, look at him talking white. Look at him. Look at her talking white. Yeah. Like, I was in Atlanta a year ago with a bunch of my friends, and we're all educating. We were having a conversation. This dude came over to speak to us, and we were having no parts of it. And he was like, "Oh," he's like totally. Oh my god. He was like, "Black girls can't be black girls no more." And I was like, "Anyway, nigga, like, who are you talking to? Like, I'm educated, and I can turn things on and turn things off if I need to, but like, because I'm not talking all Shaniqua hood rat."
You
that's
gotta
not-
understand,
Right.
Atlanta is the worst place for articulation. All right,
First of
they can
all-
barely announce "the" in Atlanta.
Well, you know what? Some people are on our chat line here, and they're bringing up a really good point. One person is saying it's hard to do something when folks are just trying to survive. That needs to be addressed as well, which is true.
Right.
Which
You're
is
trying to
true. If we're not-
survive.
If
but
we're not given the proper
it's hard to
Hey,
do.
Javier, we're going to, if you're not given the proper tools, look at our schools. What, 4% of the money, of the lottery money, is supposed to be going to our inner city schools? Why are our kids still struggling for books, and the classes are overfilled?
Overcrowded,
Yeah.
I-
So, you know?
I think that still goes back. I think that goes back to parenting. I mean, if your child does not have the essential resources to succeed in school, if he doesn't have pencils, I'm flabbergasted sometimes when I'm in class and kids come to school with no pencil or no book or nothing at all. And it's like, you want your child to succeed, but you're not even sending them to school to succeed. It's like you're setting them up for
technically,
failure.
it's like, then why send them to school at all? Like, if you're not gonna, because
that's what they just do. Go to school. They'll take care of all that.
right, well, I didn't have time to get you pencils, but like, I got you this hot new
Jordans.
polo. Like,
Exactly.
Like, if you have
Exactly.
time, if you have time to invest in that, it's just priorities. It's all priorities, because I understand that like people are trying to struggle and they're trying to make their ends meet and all that. But in that, you're spending all of this money back to like how your child looks.
Yeah.
The shape up is on point. The tape up fade, all that, like everything.
And I bet you they have cable too that they spending all this
cable
stuff.
and-
But yet they don't have an internet there where he can go on and do his homework.
No, they got internet. Everybody has your kids going to school with an iPhone 5. I don't even have an
Tweeting
iPhone
in
5.
class and-
Right, Instagram.
Well, yeah.
Just like at the reality show in Louisiana, all the kids there, they all have phones. Like, how do you have all these iPhones?
First of all, I don't get that. Like, I see little kids like middle school and younger with phones,
Right.
and they just.
And
they
even with this generation now, it's a lot more distractions than like when we grew up in school.
Absolutely.
We didn't have cell phones.
Very good
we used to
point.
we used to pass notes and fold them real cool.
Have
Remember?
notes. I had
Pull
notebooks
here.
and notes. But now kids, they have iPads, they have iPhones, they have all this, and their distraction is being taken more out the school system with that.
Well, I disagree a little bit. As far as phones are, but I've actually taught in classes where there's a class set of iPads for the students, and actually some of the lessons correlate off of the iPads, and it's a lot easier accessible for them to pick up and draw information and things of that. So a lot of that, with technology, a lot of that is incorporated into the lessons, but then again, that can also be abused, misused, and things of that sort. So I think it's good if you use it in a good way.
Yeah.
Because like when I was in school, if I wanted to find out an answer, I had to walk down to the library, go in there. These kids now, all they got to do is
Right,
Google
exactly.
it,
It's right there in your
So
pocket.
I think it's easier for them to obtain information, but a lot of them do abuse it and allow it to become a distraction,
And
like
that
you said.
that comes from the household.
So what school?
Exactly.
Dwindles back
What
to
school are the
that.
iPads at?
What school is that?
I want to know.
The Culver City Unified School District.
Oh, see, Culver City.
But yeah, which is you're right, which is its own independent
LA
district. It's not LAUSD. You are correct. So there are, as far as resources are concerned, yes, if you look at some of these private schools or Catholic schools or independent charter schools, yes, they have resources because they have they have private donors and funds and things of that sort to attribute that to. When you
So
have
then what does that say about like how like our community doesn't reinvest in schools? You know what I mean? Like these people, these rappers and athletes and businessmen come from. A lot of them from really like low income districts.
Poverty.
So why not reinvest? Like instead of buying the new, I don't know what Lambo that with the doors that flip up. Like why not just?
You know what Jordan needs to do? Jordan needs to come out with a new, like a new school book or something.
No. He should come out with a shoe,
a new app, a new studying
a
app,
shoe or some retro something, and where all the proceeds.
Yeah,
right. Because these people are waiting online outside of Foot Locker and
Nike store.
Foot Action for hours.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
let the funds kind of
Yes. And along with that, one of my friends is a substitute teacher, and she's told me stories about kids that have, parents 22 years old, 23 years old, and how they're cussing each other out in the classroom. And these are like 6-year-olds.
What? Oh, well, that's
My friend Tiffany. And she told me these stories, and, she talks to the kids, and they say, well, my parents talk like this.
See?
Well, you
And
are.
and that's another thing now with the new generation of, the young baby boomers. the people that are like, not saying all 21 to 23-year-olds are young-minded, but most don't have that maturity, and they have a child, and then they're still bringing around them with their friends drinking.
Well,
and
think
still,
about it.
Exactly.
Well, think about it like this too. If you're 23 years old and you have a 6-year-old, how old were you when you had that kid?
Right.
Well, a lot of these people they didn't finish school.
Right. Exactly.
A lot of them
and
didn't finish.
Doing, like you said, tossing them off to the school system.
Tossing them off to the school system and letting them parent them. But it's kind of even glorified in some of these little to have a baby when you're 18. Oh, you got a baby. Our baby's so cute.
Look at MTV and Teen Mom. And
even though that's funny because a lot of those are white children.
But that just goes to show you that it's not just us. Right. They're everybody.
I think the difference with us, though, is we allow it to be destructive. We allow it to tear us down. And I think that, the main cultural difference is that those are the things that we idolize. We idolize the materialistic stuff in our culture. And I think the white culture doesn't do it as much. And I think that's where the destruction comes from.
Somebody in our chat room is saying private school teaches you to own a business while public schools teaches you how to work for someone else.
Jay from the Bay, very interesting.
That's Javier.
Yeah, Javier. I guess his phone kept cutting off. So
we actually have another caller on the line. Caller, how you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Michael, calling from Boston. Can you hear me?
Boston, East Coast.
Celtics Nation.
They lost last night, I think, right?
Whatever. I was listening and I was relating to a lot of stuff you guys were saying. And I'm not the perfect person in the world. I'm not the perfect father. Mm-hmm. But I also contribute to WAC society I was a young father myself. I had my first son at 13, and a lot of people don't know that. And I was going to a WAC school, and my parents they took me out to public school, stuck me in a private school, paid a lot of money, and I ended up having 2 more kids. I'm 28 now. My oldest is 15, 14, and 3. And I was messed up, but I came up out that, and I got a good job. I work for the city. I'm not going to say what I do, but I make about $60,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you guys are right. You could come up out of it, but you also need the support. And, being a father of 3, this shit ain't easy now that I look at it,
So I guess, Michael, the question is, when you say we need to, first of all, your story is admirable and commendable, and I do, definitely want to tip my hat to you for coming out of that situation and being a father to your children. But my question is, you said you need our support and things of that sort. For, I guess, those that are listening in, what would you encourage to them to come up out of that situation, or from us that we can do to help?
The old say behind is a village that raises a child. And there's really more. It takes more than even 2 parents. But even as a child yourself, you need that confidence, and you need to bust your own butt to feed yourself and take care of yourself. Because as you get older, you start to realize certain things, because that's when you get certain responsibilities. Like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. I was going to the private school, boarding school. I had nobody telling me at 15, 16, and I was already, I'm a father of a 4-year-old, and I'm still going to school.
So,
and I ain't got nobody telling me, what to do. I had to do it. If you don't, you suffer the consequences, get kicked out the school, back to the public schools, and who knows what then, And I was always ahead of my peers, because when I came back, I was still in the hood, but I was always ahead of my peers that was in the hood.
So here's a question for you. While you were in school, you said you were 13 when you had your first.
My first, yeah.
So who was watching your son or daughter while you were in school? Your parents, or?
Now, listen to this. As being a boy, as being a boy, you don't got no responsibility to that. Guess who stuck with the kid? The mother.
And she was 13
You know
as
what
well?
I mean? But my parents ain't sit there and dog them out, because I still had to work. I got my first job at 15, but I still had to do it. That was my responsibilities as being a Haitian, coming from Haitian parents and raised in America. I see the things in this country is really backwards compared to stuff in the Caribbean islands and other countries. Because I wasn't born in Haiti. I was born in another country. My mom been in 3 different countries before America. She loves it, but seeing things and being as a father, you see backward stuff. You got BET. You can't stop the internet. You can't stop YouTube. I can't stop my 15-year-old girl from twerking it. I said, you can twerk it, but give me all the devices. I'm being real, because it is what it is. Sex is out there. We're human. We're maturing faster than people did in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, because technology and information is moving so fast. Yo, you got to roll with the punches.
Now, Michael, I understand your thing about technology, and obviously, yeah, you know, sex and YouTube, all these things that are extremely accessible to younger kids wasn't that bad when we were coming up. So I guess as a father, then, because I'm sure there's a lot of parents that may be listening that may have the same issue, how do you deal with that with your daughter? Do you talk to her and say, look, as a woman, you have to carry yourself in this way, or how do you deal with...
Right. Exactly, because I listen to you guys, you know what I mean? I've been listening to you guys. This is my first time calling in. And, you know,
thank you.
Every day I'm trying to be a better person. I speak to her. Yo, what you see on TV, they get paid for this. This is entertainment. Most of these people on TV already went to school, got their degrees. Most of them, not all of them. And I tell her, yo, this is not what it's about. You see them girls on YouTube twerking it? No. You can twerk it, but you're not going to broadcast yourself to the public like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you got to be real. You're not going to tell your child, you can't do this, because that just makes them want to do it more. I already know being a father at 13.
Yeah.
You can't tell me, you know, I've been there. Like, I've been there. So my kids already know, damn. You know, my kids is only 13, 14, 16, like, only a part for me. So they're like, yeah, they see it. Like, they go to school, their parents is old, some of them. I'm the youngest dude in there. They're like, who are you? I'm like, that's my daughter. That's my son's like this. They're like, oh, shit. But like I said, I went to a good school, went to college, did my thing, worked for the city. I make decent money. I'm with the, you know, and I got a family. I'm with the 2 of my kids. I'm with their mom. It's just the first one I'm not.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for sharing your story. You know, we wish you much success. I guess with a 13 and 14-year-old, is it real difficult raising them, especially at that adolescent phase?
A little bit, but my girl, she don't give me too much trouble, which I'm blessed. She don't give me no trouble at all.
That's
the
good.
boys, they move a little faster than her.
Oh, yeah.
boys will be doing
That is true.
I'm being real, so.
Well, Javier. No, not Javier. What's his name?
Michael. From Boston.
Thank you so much, Michael, from calling in from Boston. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Wow.
That was, you know, the thing is, I think that just kind of goes back to what we were talking about, you know, the cycle. Now, Michael, fortunately, was able to break that cycle and turn it into, you know, a successful story. But that right there is just a real life example of some of the things.
It's reality.
It's reality. Exactly.
It's reality.
It's reality, and it's what's going on. And unfortunately, most of the fathers that are like Michael aren't being there. You know, he's an exception, but most of them are doing the same thing, and
the cycle continues.
And there you go.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. Ooh.
Wow.
I don't even want to have a daughter this day and age.
Listen, if I
I'm
still
scared.
I'm still going through my selfish phase. Okay,
Right.
It's me. Like, what do I want to eat? What do I want to do? What do I want to buy?
Yeah.
I can't afford anything, but I'm still all about me. Like, I can't be carrying a stroller and formula and a diaper bag on the bus.
Actually, you can.
No,
You can.
me. I can't do it.
Octomom did it. Anyone can do it. Right?
Well,
she's doing porn now. I had my child in my mid-20s, and
you was a grown adult.
Yeah, mid-20s. You knew what was going on.
And you were married. See,
you were married. It's not.
Yeah.
Ooh, something else I'm gonna talk
I
about.
was married. Yeah, she was planned. She was planned. And even though my parents weren't together, I still spent quality time with both my parents. And my father was there. He's no longer here. Bless his heart. No, anyway, but he was really strict on us. You know, the things that my friends were doing, he was like, "That's your friend. So what?"
Yep.
You know, I'm walking home from school from cheerleading, and my brother's like 3 years older than me. My brother's friend saw me, you know, do you want to ride home? I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I just got finished from drill team practice. He pulled up. My dad was outside watering the grass. I mean, the look in his eyes was... I'm like, my heart, I started getting warm on the inside. And when I got out the car, he was like, I don't want you in no niggas' cars. What are you doing? I said, Dad, he just gave me a ride home. I don't care.
Was it late? It must have been like early enough in the afternoon.
It was like 4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And then not to mention, you know, we go to our Friday night games side, but when we come home, you got to be at home at 12. I don't want you here at 12:01. And my friends, of course, we went to the hangout spot afterwards. All we did was ate, you know, got us some burgers. And I'm like, come on, you guys, I got to go home.
Yeah.
Come on.
You were that friend.
So, and then it was like 12:15. And he's standing outside.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so he kind of like put fear in us. And believe it or not, I instilled those same morals and standard in my child. And coming up with her, she was like, you mean. You strict,
Yeah.
you the mean.
But listen, my parents
But it
were
paid off
worse.
because she turned out to be an excellent kid.
Absolutely.
Except you don't understand that when you're
Beautiful,
going through that. You don't understand that. You think that you want to do what all the other kids are doing.
Yeah,
I've
you
got
want to
really
do
good education.
you want to do exactly what all the other kids are doing, and then cut to 5 years after high school graduation, you realize you don't care about none of those kids.
Exactly.
You don't keep in touch with none of those kids. You may or may not see them on Facebook. They'll send you a friend
When you
request,
do,
and
you're
you be
like,
like,
ooh,
no.
I'm glad I didn't do what they did.
Yeah, like.
You appreciate it.
Or they're in this, or you look and you see that they're in the same exact place they were when you were in high school. They're still doing the same things. They're
About
still
90% of my high school graduates are still right where
And
they
that's
were.
what you got to realize. High school is just
And
4
pregnant.
years of your life.
Right.
4 years out of your whole life. And
It
you
feels
know,
like eternity. though.
It feels like eternity while you're in it
well-
because you want to gain everyone's acceptance and you want to impress your peers and you want to fit in.
But if you think about it, you're in school for 12, 13 years if you count kindergarten, right? And these are people that you grow up with, and as a kid, that's all you know. All you know is school 5 days a week, however many months a year. I don't know how many months it is. And when you don't realize until you leave school
Like,
that
oh,
it's like a
there's more to
fake
life.
fantasy world. Like I was in college, like what was I doing with those hoes? Like you just, it's not. Like, so that's when you kind of, as you grow up, you discover, like, this is the real world here. Like, you weren't paying bills in high school. You didn't have to work. Like, I was working at, like, the YMCA, like, making, I don't even know how much an hour, but I was like, I am so rich.
Balling.
It was like $7, $8, and I was like, $8? Hype.
Ballin'.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's your whole world when you're a kid. So you want to do what the cool kids are doing, and you want to look cool, and you want to have the right outfit on, and like if somebody's bullying you or making fun of your clothes every day, like that hurts. You know what I mean? Like you go through and that's why bullying is such a big thing now. Or I guess people were always being bullied.
See, yeah, bullying has always been prevalent.
But now people are like killing themselves over like bullying.
Yeah.
Like people are like,
They don't have that.
Well, I don't see.
it's
This is my problem
online.
with the bullying now. Is see, back in the day when I went to school and there was bullying, you were taught to stand up for yourself. You were taught, like, I think this culture now, we baby them so much. You know, if someone calls you stupid, you want to cry and say, he bullied me, he called me stupid. And it's like, okay, look, I don't believe that's right. And I don't advocate any kind of bullying in any kind of form whatsoever. But I do believe that this culture is getting a lot more babied, or this generation, than when it is when I was coming up. When I was coming up, someone made fun of you or was making fun of you, bagging on you, you bag back on them. You cap back on them. You know, you don't physically react to them, but you know, you stand up. You go back and forth and you stand up for
your
yourself.
mama jokes and
now
go
it's
back and
like,
forth.
oh, you know, now bullying is used so loosely. It's like if someone walks by and looks at you wrong, oh, he bullied me, you know, and it's like, no, you know, I think bullying was always around.
Right.
It's just that
well, it's not new. It's not new. Now I think you're right. They kind of coddle. Is that a word? Coddle?
They're
They
spoiled.
coddle their
These kids are spoiled.
It's
these
on Urban
days,
Dictionary,
yeah.
so yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think it's Wikipedia.
Back in my day, it was called King of the School.
King of the school.
Yeah, they had a girl that was a king of the school, and they had a boy that was a king of the school. And I remember my brother, he used to get chased home every day from a kid at school. And my mother told him, you know what? you better go back there and fight him. If you don't, I'm gonna whoop your butt. And she did. And that day, he never messed with him again.
Never messed with him again.
Never messed with him again, ever. And I got bullied. I got bullied in my elementary year. This girl was I was scared. She was like a dude, you know. She was a dude.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, and she was punking me for my lunch
Set it
money.
off. Okay.
And my dad was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't want to go to school." And he was like, forget that. And he worked for the naval base. He had this police-looking uniform. And he came up there, and everybody's like, "Ooh, your dad." She saw my dad. She's like, "I'm sorry, I won't take your money anymore."
Oh, wow.
But yeah, but
My dad wasn't taking off a week.
but I mean, bullying is still prevalent.
And the thing is, you got to realize with bullying is that it's really bullying is not going to stop at a high school. That's still a reflection of society when in your workplace.
Yeah, you might have
could
a
be
bully at
bullied.
your job.
Now, when you have bullies at your job, you can't always run off and now if you're sexually harassed or things of that sort, yeah, that's something else. But it's like you have to learn how to deal with it because once you get out of school, it's still going to happen. It's a part of life in your job when you go to college, when you, you'll wherever in every capacity.
You might have a boyfriend. He's a bully, or a girlfriend. She's a bully.
Well, that's called domestic violence, and
but it's still
that's going to be in our Chris Brown episode next week. But
Still a bully.
It's still a bully.
It's still that's true.
Type of bully.
It's true, but we have to teach our kids to deal with it. You don't teach them to commit suicide or run and tell or stuff like that.
I don't think you
them how
teach
to
anybody to commit suicide.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I was being extreme in that, but. But what I'm saying is basically the reason they commit suicide and stuff and feel because no one's teaching them how to stand up for themselves. They think that they can't stand up for themselves. They think that it's over. Oh, I'm made fun of. There's nothing else I can do. I'm a nobody. And it's like, no, you have to teach them that you are somebody. And yes, you can stand up if you want to be valued.
There was a story about a month ago. This girl in New Jersey, she jumped off the bridge. She killed herself because she said that she had an internship at some like fashion company in New York, and she said that they were mean to her at work every single day. So she jumped off the bridge.
She couldn't deal with it no more.
She was like, she couldn't. She left a note and like named people.
Yeah,
like,
I read about that.
Yeah,
yes.
she was like, they are so nasty to me at work.
And I heard on the note she told the people who she did not want to come to her funeral and stuff like that. She blacklisted some, but
yeah, she took them off the guest list.
Yeah,
but like something like that is. And she was in college. So she was out of high school, she's in college, and this is at her internship. Like, this is not even
a paid
but some people just can't.
Can't.
I don't know.
It just gets to the head and
it gets to the head, yeah.
To the heart.
And it's not easy. I mean, that's why I say, it's good if you have, parents, because a lot of times I see people that have great relationships with their mother or with their father and things of that sort. So when they have problems like this, they go to them and they talk to them.
Right.
Or, they have a support system or something. But it's unfortunate some people don't have those kind of support systems or a lack of that at home, so therefore they don't know how to react to that other than take it to extreme measures like that.
Right.
So
one of our chatters is saying school is a scary place for a child. We spend 4 to 5 years with our parents, and then we are thrusted into school with strangers.
So your
parents disappear all of a sudden when you go to school?
No, not even that. So your suggestion is what, homeschooling? I feel like that's is
worse.
Detrimental to like your social development.
You're just invincible to society.
Well, yeah.
And then someone here got bullied. They said a boy chicks.
A boy tricked. A boy chicks.
Chicks tried to bully me, and I whooped her in front of the class.
Good.
The funny thing is, we were 11. I see her now, and she's girly with kids. I always thought she would be a dyke.
That is a good story.
Not only do they commit suicide, they also come back and shoot random kids in the class.
Yes.
That's true.
Now, that is true.
But you see how we're coming full circle? This is...
Yeah.
They snap.
Mm-hmm. They do. And a lot of times the kids that do that are the ones that are bullied and they just have no outlet for it. So they come back and,
they either snap on themselves or snap
on their families or on other kids, or they grow up to be like abusive, in abusive relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's...
By the way, I'm sorry to stop you real quick. A world tour, we on a world tour with the mic. But anyways, a world tour just said he was trying to relate to what Reezy was saying in regards to his statement about 4 to 5 years and then dropped them off. Their parents dropped them off and didn't trust them. I think he was just trying to explain that and saying he was trying to relate to what he was saying about trying to fit in and saying once you go to school in 5 years, you're just trying to fit in with your peers for the next 13 years. So we do agree with you on that award tour.
Yeah, but like like little kids, like when you first start school, I feel like school is different. It's fun, right? You go to school, and I was a bully on my first day. I hit somebody with a block. Because
oh Lord,
apparently my parents like telling me this story. Apparently, I thought all the toys at in the classroom were my toys. And somebody came over, and I was like, no. But when you first start school, it's fun, and then you start, you learn your shapes and your colors and your writing or whatever, and then school gets annoying, and then kids start to be like, what shoes are those, or like that. That's when there's a point when it turns, it flips a little bit, but for the most part. I don't know. Kids cry on the first day, and that's normal. But I don't think that school is something that you should be afraid of going to when you first start going to school.
Exactly. I think if anything, it's the reverse. I think once you first start, you're excited. You're excited. Exactly.
Especially if you have older siblings that you want to go to school where they go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you already have that.
You be amped. I had an older brother, and I was like, go to school. I'm on the bus.
Right. I guess why with you.
And then you're like, I'm not gonna go to school on the bus.
Someone says that a lot of kids that are bullying, a lot of kids that are doing the bullying are actually being physically abused by their parents or older siblings, and that's true. Just the people who hit go and hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's handed down, hereditary. But getting back to what you were saying, I think Brooke, you brought up an interesting thing about homeschool, and a lot of times you see people that kind of suggest going that route, especially with some of the state that our public schools are in. Some of them are in some catastrophic places. And I think if I had a child, would I want them to go to a public school in LAUSD? Probably not. I'd probably send them to a charter school or something like that. I wouldn't homeschool them because I do believe there's social skills they need to develop in an environment like school, especially when they go on to college and stuff like that. But, I do think it's still a valid issue, at least to consider.
Well, like you think about it, you homeschool your kids all through their school career. Then they go to college, and now they're like a fish out of water because they have everybody else has had a 12-year head start.
Yeah. They need to adapt.
They did that in kindergarten.
Yeah.
But you just, all right, babe, bye, go to Berkeley or Harvard or wherever you're going, and you're like, well, and those be the kids that go crazy in college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who are like. Anyway.
Yeah, because you can't adapt.
Right. Or you thrust them into the workforce and they don't know how to, and this is maybe not all of them, but some of them might not necessarily know how to interact with people in like a workplace setting because they're like, well, I'm used to being at home
just
and
being mom.
sitting in my pajamas, going to school that way. Like
exactly.
Maybe if you maybe have been homeschooled and you're watching the show right now, you want to call in. I think that would be something cool that we should.
A different perspective.
Yeah, because I mean we all went to school and we're like, that's weird.
And even for me, I went to private school up until 6th grade, and like with my mom, I was like, okay, I want to go to public school because I went to private school with the same about 300 kids for this. Preschool all the way to 6th grade, and I had no experience of public schools, and my cousins went to public schools, and they always told me things about it, and I couldn't relate because I went to a Christian private school. What's the
biggest difference you think that you heard when you were?
Well, one, the diversity, because my private school was predominantly black, and just the people that you come into, and then the way that they educate and extracurricular activities, after school things, it was just a whole different community, the way everybody operated. And I felt like I wanted to be exposed to that. And I definitely feel like you should put a child in private school and public school because I feel like private school gave you that honor system, the good study ethics. They're on your back. They're making sure you do well. When I went to the public school, it's completely different. Like, no one's watching your grades. You just come to school. You do what you have to do. Yeah. People ditching classes. People fighting at school. Yeah. It's a whole different atmosphere. But it's good because that's life. Like, you have to be exposed to both.
Well, the private school, the good thing about, I think when you're in your elementary years, you get a really, really good well, that's where you get your basic foundation from. And being in that private school, actually every kid that came from that private school either went on to other private schools or they went to magnet schools. And then when she did go to public school, she went to AP classes. She was still able to mingle with the other, people and get a taste of,
that's what I was saying, that foundation. I feel like that foundation is important when you're young.
Yeah.
That's when you're soaking up everything.
Yeah, I had a similar experience to you. I went to a school from 3rd through 8th grade. It was a private gate school, only 200 people in the whole school. Gate.
Oh.
Gate.
And I was like,
Yeah, it was.
I know I was not
Your
going to her
words.
gay school, private gay school.
Exactly. You see, it didn't work on me, but
Hey.
yeah. But leave it to Reezy. But at any rate, it was same thing from 3rd through 8th grade. I went to a small school, 200 people. I was the only black kid. It was all white. A Gate school, and every year it was the same 30 people in my class. So I was just bored I had a lot of friends that I knew from sports. They were in public schools, and I felt like I was just missing out on life. You know, I was begging my mom to put me in a public school because I just wanted to, I wanted to be able to relate to everybody else. I wanted to be able to connect with everyone, and I was just so sick and tired of being in the same class year after year with the same group of students and nobody else in there. I was the only black kid, so I had nobody of color to relate to. And I just felt like I was just isolated. So, and I mean, I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but I really went through that phase where I really wanted to go to public school and just experience that with some of the other kids. And I, felt that, so I can relate and experience some of the after school activities, extracurricular activities and things that my little school didn't offer. So, but looking back in retrospect, I'm kind of proud that my mom did put me in that school because I know how I wowed out when I got to high school because of just the lack of
being in that
environment,
Exactly.
And I think it was a really good thing, but I enjoyed it. I was miserable.
And then you end up going to Morehouse.
And then I end up going to the best private school for African American males in
President
Morehouse
Obama's
College.
supposed to be visiting over there.
President Obama's not visiting. He's being our commencement speaker this year in May. Yes, he will be giving which I feel blessed because when I graduated from Morehouse in 2004, Bill Cosby was our commencement speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And he was dope as well.
They having a really cool sweater.
I wish because I'm waiting. It's still not quite my 10-year reunion, and I'm planning on going to that. And this year, it's not going to be
I
it.
would just
but
go just to see Mr.
Right,
President.
just go.
Mr.
it's gonna. I mean, I'm sure the tickets are already. It's gonna be like heck trying to, trying to get a ticket and stuff like that. But then again, I'm Kevin John, so maybe they'll.
Kevin
So
John.
they're probably going to put you on
a charter jet out there to.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and cut to break. We need to cut to break. This is One Mic, One Voice every Wednesday at Roscoe's Media Center, 7 p.m. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We're having a good break over here, you guys. We're back. I'm your host, Chantel, one mic, one voice.
I'm Kevin John.
It's Reezy, baby.
Brooke Jean.
Brooke Jean Queen. Now let's talk about our athletes and your rappers, the people out there who have the money, who can actually come back. And I only see, I know some of the rappers go back, but I only see the sports players. They only go back to give turkeys around the holidays. What about coming back and going to the YMCA or doing an after-school program?
Well, they do.
Well, actually, yeah, they do. A lot of NBA players do have
Some-
programs and after-school things.
Yeah.
Okay, where your
That's it.
doctors
NBA
and lawyers,
cares and-
besides those
NBA
people.
cares. Right.
The
I
doctors,
think they make them do that.
okay, so,
It's in their contract. You got to do it.
well, all of our kids do want to be. That's because all of our kids do want to be NBA ball players, rappers, so forth and so forth. Okay, what about the doctors, the lawyers, the actual?
I don't know.
Well, this is
I
my-
never
this is-
actually see them.
Maybe the doctors be on call. They got their beepers on them.
Exactly. They
They're
can't.
trying to sleep, save lives, and make babies.
No, I think
don't know.
my question to that is, I think why you see rappers and athletes, you're saying as far as them going back and giving back in the absence of lawyers, I think, and this is just a guess. I don't know that. I don't want to put anything out there, but my guess is that because a lot of rappers, entertainers, and athletes probably came from that. They came from poverty. They came from low-income neighborhoods. So they feel compelled to go back there. And some of the I'm not saying doctors and lawyers don't come from lower-income neighborhoods. You have, but I'm just saying the vast majority of them probably didn't come from that kind of neighborhood. Or if they did, they quickly disassociated themselves with it in order to make it to where they are now.
So this is
Right.
why all of our kids coming up want to be rappers,
Because that's who's
ball
reached back to
players.
them.
Well, you have to think about them too.
That's what's glorified in the media.
Right? They glorify the hood and the
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the only
2J.
only professionalism that our kids see was the Cosby Show back in the day.
Yeah.
And they don't even
Like,
want
what
to put.
professionalism
different
do you
world.
see
They don't
now?
even want to put that on primetime TV now.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
watching Scandal though. Hey.
Yes, with the woman who's.
But she's like a
the
PR,
marriage.
right? She's sleeping with the with the president,
Oh,
and
Lord.
he's married, and we're like, yes, Olivia Pope for the win. But really,
But look at the situation, step back and look at it from
Yeah.
a different perspective. But what do you say, like how you said professionally, what do you say right now in our generation kids have to look up to professionally?
Barack Obama. I
Yes.
think that's probably the
That's like the
best
biggest
thing.
staple that's
yeah.
grown.
I
And
mean,
he's-
yeah, which is so you're talking Oprah Winfrey.
These people aren't attainable though. They're not coming back to the neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? They're
Barack
not
is going to be at
actually-
Morehouse. Barack's going to be at Morehouse.
Yeah,
Okay,
the-
but what about our high school?
And I know Oprah goes back to Jackson State. Oprah came to Morehouse too when I was there. Well, of course, everyone comes to Morehouse because my school is the ish.
The Tyler
but-
Perrys and stuff.
on a regular basis though, to like instill, come on kids, you can be better than, you can, not better, but you can be more than just a rapper, or you can be more than just a
Well,
ball
I know
player.
for
Yeah, but then
Oprah, she
why-
actually has like a group of girls called
In
My
Africa?
Daughters.
She has the school?
No, they're out here.
Well, she has a school in Africa. Yeah.
She has a school in Africa, but she has like a group of girls, I believe, that she rotates once they get to college, say like 10 to 15, that she actually takes and kind of mothers along
Okay,
with the
so
other
where
things
do
that she
I
does.
sign up for that program?
Right, I don't know.
Because I need a new mom.
Right? And Oprah would be
Like an
perfect.
Oprah mom.
Oprah mom.
Right.
But yeah, she
or a Gail mom.
mothers them until they get into college and gets them set.
And I mean, my thing is also, who's to say that lawyers and doctors don't go back to school,
It's just
or
not
go back?
shown.
It's just
We
that
don't
when
hear about
athletes or, when athletes or entertainers do it, it's all over the media.
A press release
TMZ,
goes
there's a
out.
press release, there's all this other stuff. But doctors and lawyers can do it on a daily, but we're not going to see it all over the place
Right.
because there may not be Lil Wayne or LeBron James. So
Also,
therefore,
I mean, you got to think about it too like this. These kids see these doctors and these lawyers and they're like, man, come on, you got that button-up shirt on, wear the VVS stones. Like, well, no, you look gross. Like, you know what I mean? That's not glorified to them. In my house growing up, you could either be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. It was them, and I was like, I don't want to be any of those things.
Right.
I'm gonna be a comedian. Hey, and like my mom still doesn't know what the hell I'm doing in LA. She'd be like, "What? Did you go to work today?" And I'd be like, "I wrote a joke."
Mom, if you're watching, right?
My mom is at work.
I wrote a joke.
I wrote a joke. But like that's Like that's for me. Like in my house, it was you could either be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer.
And your sister's over in London
My
studying,
sister's
right?
in Belgium working on her master's degree. She's like political science and international relations.
Hey,
but I
good
have an older
sis.
brother and he's an actor.
Yeah.
So my mom and dad were like, nope, yes. Like
So then this is when I asked, what was it that inspired you to become a comedian?
Believe it or not, my guidance counselor in high school was like, you should be a comedian. And I was like, I can't get no scholarship for this. No.
I get that financial aid package?
Right. I was like, I can't get no scholarship for this.
Were you the class clown, Reezy?
No, I did really well in school. I took a bunch of AP courses and I got really good grades in school. I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I was like, no, that takes too much time. And then I went to school for marketing. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna make a lot of money. And then I was something else and something else and something else. And then I eventually went to school for public relations and journalism. So, because I like talking to people.
I never would have guessed.
Right.
PR and journal. I know, because I'm so shy. I know.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, it's funny you said in your household there was just three options.
Right. It was
an engineer, doctor, or lawyer.
Right.
And it's like that a lot of times in a lot of these Jewish households as well out here. You know, it's two choices, either a doctor or a lawyer. And you see a lot of those things. And my thing is, I think it's unfair to say that you only have these options because every kid creatively becomes what they,
they want to be.
What they want to be. But I also think it's good to have guidelines by saying, regardless of what you're going to be, you're going to be educated. All right. Exactly. So if you do want to be a comedian, if you do want to, you're going to go and get your degree first, and then you can go and do all the other stuff.
But I think something that I should probably note too is if you do like a Google search on like celebrities who dropped out of school, it's almost every single one of them.
Yeah.
Like from like Brad Pitt to like CeeLo to like
Jim Carrey doesn't even have a high school degree.
Beyonce didn't finish high school. Like if you go
Michael Jackson?
It's a lot of them. A lot of them. And then like even like the Bill Gates, he dropped out of Harvard and
Mark Zuckerberg.
Steve Jobs.
And Steve
Jobs.
Like
Everyone.
it almost seems like I'm losing because I stayed in school. Almost. Because I mean, Sally Mae calls me and sends me text messages on the way. I'm like, these loans are in deferment.
Right. Sally,
I'll get the money. You'll get the money when I get the money.
Wait. Yeah.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, right? If you do
successful people did not finish school.
a lot of these successful people that our kids watch on TV every day,
they're
or
influenced
listen
by,
to, and are influenced by, they didn't. A lot of them didn't finish college or high school.
But that's because you got to look at the careers that they're in that are glorified. Obviously, careers like lawyers and doctors and things of that sort aren't going to be all over the media or all over the TV or all over,
more
you know,
prominent.
or yeah, exactly.
It's like they're everywhere.
You know, I mean, yeah, doctors and lawyers are ubiquitous in the fact that they're all over the place, but those aren't glorified professions. But my thing is, even if that's true for all races, why is it that the Asian kids are getting it, the Indian kids are getting it, the white kids are getting it, but we're still not getting it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the white kids. I mean, the United States ranks pretty low in terms of education.
Yeah.
Like I think we're like number 14 or something like that.
17, I think, in the last study.
Something like yeah. So our country as a whole, like even with like educated white kids and Asian kids and Indian, like we're really not doing that well internationally. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I don't know. I don't know why. I guess it's just a cultural thing, really, when you think about it.
That's kind of what I attribute it to.
Who's number one? Japan?
I think it's something like that. Like
I was going to say China.
Japan.
Everything's made in China, so it seems like education is made there too.
But see, it goes back to the parenting again. They're strict on their kids.
Yes.
They are seriously
Yeah, but
strict.
if you're too strict on your kids, a lot of those kids will rebel. Like they say, like pastors' kids are like the worst kids. You know what I mean? Like pastors' daughters.
Well, so you got to understand, as a kid when you're growing up, what's the one thing you hate? Rules. You hate rules.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times growing up as a kid, for someone to continue to say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, not only do you want to rebel, you want to see what it's like to do everything on the list that they say not to. So I think as a parent, it's not necessarily your job to, to make a list and say, don't do any of those things. Your job is to inform them on everything on that list so then they can make a conscientious decision on what they're going to do.
So not don't do crack, but crack does this.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
That's
just to give
terrible.
you guys some statistics, the U.S. places, like you said, 17th
Bam.
for world education.
I know my education.
The top is Finland and South Korea.
Oh.
Then following is Hong Kong, Japan, and Singapore.
Asian, right? I don't think we're all shocked at that.
Right.
Wait, what was the first one you said? Philippines?
Finland.
Finland.
Oh, wow.
They're smart. They make
South Korea.
Yeah.
Well, you
Hong Kong,
guys,
Japan, and Singapore.
we are getting close to the end of our show, but I do want to announce that next week we're going to have, actually he's been on my show a couple of times. He's coming back. He's actually running for mayor of Compton. Rodney Allen Rippey. You guys remember him?
Rodney Allen Rippey.
Rodney, well, you guys are probably...
Well, I was about to say, I don't think we was here.
I'm new to the state. Who? Rodney King?
He was the kid.
Rodney Allen
Rodney
King?
He was the
Rodney
Jack in the
Rippey.
Box kid, and he was the face of Jack in the
child
Box
star.
as a kid. He was a child star.
Yeah,
And
I'm not
he-
from here either, so I'm like, what?
Oh, everybody in here, Paul, is under us, looking like, what are they talking
Brooke,
about? But
did you know
anyway,
what she was talking about?
Yeah, because he was on the show previously. That's the only reason.
so anyway, we're gonna have him coming here next week. Actually, he's running for mayor of Compton, and he has a lot of great things that he's going to be doing for the city over there, including their schools. Okay, and Jacqueline DeLoaf. Oh, okay, 2013 Compton mayor. She's also a candidate. Jacqueline DeLoaf. Okay.
Oh. Maybe I'll run for mayor of Compton.
All right. So we have a couple
And
mayors.
then, yeah, I wonder what the city will turn out then.
What are you talking about? It'll be
Awesome.
fabulous.
Of course, because you're fabulous.
It's
Reese.
a
From
big
New
list
York,
here.
running for Compton.
It'll be real.
You know, there's a mayoral race for the city of LA right now. You should enter, throw your hat in the ring for that, Reese.
I should throw my weave in the race. Oh, it's tonight.
I said it's too late.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I know.
Well,
I'm
next year.
joking. Next year, you know, it's every like 8 years, I think.
Well, next year I'll start the campaign.
To prepare.
I'll start preparing for the
right,
campaign next year. Right.
So any last words you guys want to say? We're going to go ahead and close the show.
Well, I want to say thank you to all the people who called, and somebody was hitting
Chat
me on
rooms and-
Twitter.
Yeah, I got some tweets too.
Dr. Post-a-Lot
Yes, he was in the chat room also.
was hitting us up. Lovely. So I think it was good.
I think so. A lot of participants. Keep calling in, keep chatting.
And if you disagree with anything that we say, call us or call us.
Tweet it.
Call us.
Call us,
Hashtag.
tweet us.
But yeah, I just want to follow Reezy. I do appreciate everyone that did listen in. I know today we got deep, and you know it was a very good intellectual filled show. And you know I just want to encourage our people out there, our community out there, just to keep working hard and to know that if anyone got your back, one mic, one voice does.
Hey.
Mike,
Not in a
voice.
fight,
You
though.
guys,
Nothing's good.
we encourage poets, musicians, comedians, politicians, everybody to come on our show. You can email us at onemiconevoiceradio@gmail.com, and you can go on our website at onemiconevoice.com, and also tweet us at onemiconevoice_. I mean, you
At
know
one
what I
mic
mean.
underscore one voice.
Peace out, you guys. See you next week.
Peace.